That's great for her. How many of you are full-time entrepreneurs or business owners? Full-time. We got 1, 2. So how many of you are doing a side gig, but you're working for someone else? Okay, so y'all sneaking at work, doing your business. So we got 2 people, and the rest of you have aspirations of business ownership? Okay, do you have ideas of what you want your business to be? Okay, raise your hand if you have an idea. Okay, so we all can work together today. And if you don't have an idea, you're going to be Amazon. So Amazon is going to be our base conversation and our base case today that we're going to talk about. Let's see, anything else I need to do? Any other things? So hopefully you have a handout. If you don't, I think we're getting...
we are trying to make copies.
Make copies. How many copies do we need? How many people need the handout with the little circle on the first page? Okay, so we got some coming. Thank you. So the first thing I like to do when I am facilitating a session and I'm not doing a keynote speech, because it don't work when you do a keynote speech, is to find out what people are interested in. It's literally too many people. So what do you want to know about, or what do you want to make sure we cover as we talk about strategic planning and driving results? So I want to capture that first. Yes, ma'am?
How do you start a business?
How to start?
Nonprofit. Education.
Okay. Anything else you want to make sure we cover around strategy?
Scaling your business or your business development.
How to scale?
Sustainability.
How to be sustainable?
Finding your audience.
How to grow? Anything else? Y'all gotta speak louder so they can hear y'all over there and y'all can hear them. Yes, sir.
Pivoting in a new direction after you run your business for a while.
Pivoting. You know what? I'm gonna stop right here and talk about that. I used to be on staff over at Georgia State, and I'm still really connected with the university, and they have this entrepreneurship program. So I was spending some time with the faculty who are designing the entrepreneurship program, and we had this huge discussion about who's an entrepreneur. Like, are you an entrepreneur and you've been running your business for 4 or 5 years and in the same line of business? Or are you an entrepreneur when you pivot and start doing something different or expand it? And so we use the word so loosely. I don't necessarily walk around and tell people I'm an entrepreneur. I always say I'm a business owner. Because now the idea is growing. So I'm solidifying what I'm doing. So we're just going to talk about terminology and things like that as well. Entrepreneurs are constantly coming up with ideas. You can do that as a business owner. And some people might disagree with this, and it was a very heated discussion, a bunch of academics, so y'all, it was a nerd fest, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So that's something that was really interesting, and I had never thought about it that way. I had never thought about, like, when do you stop being an entrepreneur as you start running your business, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Anything else? Okay, we have a good list, and I think I'm going to hit some of these in my presentation. So why am I qualified to talk about strategy? Well, I spent 17 years as a consultant, worked in public accounting at firms like Deloitte, had my own consulting firm as well, doing strategy work in the tax space. So helping companies with tax planning, state and local tax planning, and as they grew. And I spent a lot of time working with companies. So I'm going to name drop, and this means something. I want y'all to think about these companies I'm going to talk about. I used to do strategy for a company called Rock 10, which is now West Rock. Cox Communications, Cox Enterprises, Kodak, Nextel, Nortel. Who else did I want to mention? E-Trade, here in Georgia. So I did something outside of Georgia. These are companies who have operations in Georgia. Anything come to mind about any of those companies I mentioned?
I wonder if some of them are still in business.
That's right. Some of them are no longer in business. What else? Some of them are much smaller than they used to be. When E-Trade moved here, they built a huge campus in Alpharetta, and I was the lead on that project for Deloitte. And we located them up, did site selection work for them, and they had maybe 5 or 6 buildings, and before you know it, they started scaling down. Strategy. Kodak had a huge facility. They were processing, yes, in Rochester, and they had a big plant here in Atlanta. That plant is gone. because they did not want to move away from film. They did not move to digital fast enough. I didn't do any work for Blockbuster, but we know how that turned out, right? They didn't want to move into mail subscriptions. Who wants to get, CDs in the mail or DVDs in the mail to watch movies? Well, I did, because I took them on the road with me when I was traveling. It was cheaper to do that than to order a movie in the room. So that's what we're going to talk about, strategy today. So what are companies doing or not doing in order to move forward? So that's a little bit about me. I forgot to flash forward, but that's my life. Those are my babies on the side, my nieces and my nephews. They're the most important part of this slide. Aren't they cute? So cute. So strategic planning. We're going to go through this life cycle of, can you guys see? I'm sorry. You ladies see? Strategic planning. We're going to go through this life cycle using the document on your desk. So what is strategic planning? When you think about it and you're not reading the definition that I've typed out, what is strategic planning? Preparing for
what may occur. So you're kind of, based on what you know, you're trying to prepare for what may occur.
Yeah, preparing for what may occur. Yes, ma'am.
Step-by-step processes.
Step-by-step processes. Those are all good. Anything else? So those of you who have a business currently, or who have a business idea that's been brewing, how much time do you, or even if you're at work, you can actually use this for your full-time job. You can do strategic planning around your career. So if you don't have a business in mind, you can use that form for that. So how many of you, business owners or business brewers, you're brewing an idea inside, actually spend time planning your business and what's going to happen for it throughout the year? Yeah. So what does your process look like?
I think so. I work for a company. We have our fiscal year from July to the end of June. So really looking at what our priorities are for the business each year. Talking with my leaders. So I'm an HR business partner. So I'm talking to find out what's upcoming. What are going to be our challenges over the next 12 months, and really think about from a human resources perspective, a people perspective. What do we need to do to align the talent in our organization to what our new priorities are?
Okay.
Do we have a new product and service? So I sit down with the leaders that I work with and really brainstorm what are things that what were our wins from last year and what do we want to accomplish for this year? And then break it down into sections. So is it from a people perspective? Is it product? Is it service?
Right.
And then on a weekly basis, I think about where I spent my time. So kind of what Steve talked about. What did I do last week? How was I productive? How was I not productive? And try to do that on a weekly and monthly basis.
And that's really good. A lot of people jump into working their businesses without planning. And you think because you're so close to, especially those of us who are solopreneurs, like, okay, I know what I need to do today. I need to make 6 posts. I need to call 50 prospective clients. But are you calling the right people? Are you marketing yourself in the right way? Do you even understand what the future is of your business? This is one of the reasons why companies are not sustainable, and some of those companies that I mentioned that I did consulting work with are no longer around. They weren't looking far enough out into the future in order to know what the market was going to do so that they can continue to provide products and services to their consumer, because the consumer may change. The channel in which the consumer gets the good and service may change, and you have to be ahead of the market in order to get to that place, to know what service. You want to be there before your customer arrives. And that's what strategic planning is going to require. So on the first page, if you have a business idea, or if you're currently working your business, I want you to use a little circle, write the name of your business. If your business is you can write your name in there, or me. What do you need to do this year? Just randomly write everything around that circle. You can put little lines out of it. What do I need to have accomplished this year? Just dump it. Whatever it is. I need to prepare for my performance evaluation. I need to understand what the market is on this job so that I can negotiate my compensation. I need to do a marketing plan, a business plan. Just drop it all around that circle. That's your brainstorming idea, activity for your business. That's the first step into strategic planning. Get it out of your head and get it on paper. A lot of people are walking around with ideas in their head, and guess what? Your brain is not designed for storage. It's an idea creating muscle. So if you are not writing down and you're driving around and you feel all good because I want to do this business, I want to sell cupcakes, and I make 4 different flavors, but you never write it down, you're going to eventually lose those ideas. What could it be? I need an administrative assistant. I don't have enough administrative help. I don't have the infrastructure in place to grow my business. That might be the weakness that you have. I might not have all the knowledge I need. Like if I want to bake and I'm passionate about it, but I don't know how to make the big batches. That could be the weakness in the business. Does it mean that the business can't go on? No. The opportunities. What's happening in the marketplace that you can exploit? Like how can I break into this? What's going on? If there's something you want to do, so we'll talk about the facilities company again. An opportunity might be the churches are looking for a way to better scale their staff and reduce expenses around staff income. That could be the opportunity for my business to break into this marketplace. Or it could be that Atlanta is becoming this huge hub for movies and theater. And churches are a big theme and a location for a lot of productions. There's an opportunity. The movie industry and churches, helping them get their churches ready for a production. The threats, these are all external. Who's coming after you? Think of it that way. Who's coming after me, and what do I need to do to stay ahead of them? This is even in your career. Who's coming after your job? I'll tell you, a 25-year-old with an executive MBA from Yale. That's what's coming for you.
And Jeannine, if I could add, so speaking of Amazon, so at ADP we recently, our HR team did an analysis. If Amazon came to Atlanta, what positions are at risk at our company for them taking?
Yes.
Right?
And that's
Key
smart.
technology
Yes.
roles, product development.
Yeah.
So we've already started doing that. And what can we do now to make sure that we're keeping that talent and that they're not running out the door?
That's right.
Even before they
Even
officially
before
announce.
they announce.
You
Right.
give them that money you told us about.
But then, yeah.
And you're.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's really important. I mean, I don't know if anybody saw in the news or you know someone who works for Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola just let go up to, 500 people, and they're in the corporate headquarters. So they did the other business last summer. So they did North America. I got them right? But I'm going to have them backward. I think it was North America. And they did Coca-Cola. They did CCE like 5 or 7 years ago. Like, what's happening? Is Coca-Cola losing money? Is that why they're letting go? Or are they just too big?
And it's their part of their business strategy.
Sometimes it could be their business strategy. Yeah. And Coca-Cola, what kind of company are they? They're a beverage company. They're a beverage company that has a huge marketing component, right? So when we think about our SWOT analysis, that's it. So what are your strengths in the marketplace? Where are your weaknesses? Those are the gaps between your strengths and the threats that are in the marketplace. Can you get to the market fast enough? What are you losing by not getting to the market fast enough? I'll give another personal example. I'm redesigning my website. I had to have a very crucial conversation with my graphic designer last Saturday because he's behind schedule, grossly. I am mad, y'all. I am, because I'm losing my, right.
Yes.
I am losing I can't direct anybody there. So I facilitated a panel with some executives from UPS. They were like, Jeannine, we want to get you out here. We don't have any black executive coaches. The president of their automation, he's over everything except the airplanes. It's a black man named Carl Rose. He is amazing. I really like Carlton. He was like, I got to get you out here. Send me a link to your website.
He got it.
Right. That's my weakness right now in the market. It could be somebody else causing that for you. So what do I need to consider next time? Backup or a new person.
Yes.
I might have to spend more money and hire a different type of company to do this. Right? Yes, sir.
Deadline date in the contract, they don't have it done by that time.
They got to pay me.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, pay me. All right, so that's our SWOT analysis. Why is that important? Is that more important than your goals? As important? As important. And what it tells you is where you have gaps and what you need. Because we love to write down what we do well. We love to stay in that space of strength. But it's those threats in the marketplace, why Kodak is not here anymore, why Blockbuster isn't here anymore, why E-Trade. E-Trade had a great platform to help you invest with less hassle. But what happened? And someone said that Amazon is too big to fail. Someone said that what's their impact? So now we're concerned about ethically, do I want to do business with a company that's taking other small businesses out of business? I mean, Walmart dealt with that, right? Now Walmart is trying to stay alive because of Amazon. They announced that they were closing stores. Look at Toys R Us and Babies R Us. People still having babies every day. Why are they closing Babies R Us? Right. Yeah. So do you need a brick and mortar store to be successful in your business? Right. I have friends who are executive coaches who got fancy offices. I was thinking I might need one. I was going to grow this business. Maybe I need an office. They all back at home.
Yeah.
Because don't nobody want to come to your office and be coached. Honestly, y'all don't. Y'all don't want to see my face. Because y'all going to say something. Y'all going to be worried what I'm thinking. But those are the things. People are moving away from them. Okay. So this is our action plan. This is where we get specific in the details. So I've done all this strategy. I looked at my strengths, my weaknesses. I looked at what my goals are for the year. Going back to my mission. Do these goals tie back to the mission? The core reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Same thing with your career. It's the things that I have to do this year in my job as a financial analyst, as a marketing coordinator, tie back to the vision. So let's get specific. So being specific, and there's a formula for this. It's called SMART goals. I only put 3 of the letters in here, but we want to be specific, and it needs to be measurable. When you set your goals, they need to be quantifiable. I want to grow my business. I want to grow this segment of my business. So the number of cupcakes I sell, the number of pound cakes I sell. I want to grow the cupcake business portion of this business by 20%. I want to grow the pound cake business by 10%, and then I want to move into the wedding cake market. And for the year 1, I want 5% of my revenue to be that amount. That's how specific your goals need to be. I want to launch my website by February 1. Like this gentleman said, Jeannine, it's your fault it ain't done. Because you should have put a disclaimer. You should have put a caveat in the contract that says if it's not done by this day, that you have to pay me. Give me my money back, my deposit back, right? And then there has to be specific timing to that. So 25% of this in X number of months, the pound cake business is going to grow within the first quarter by 5% of my full 20% goal. And the reason for that is so that you know where to spend your energy. So if I have to get to this 5% by June, what am I going to be doing? Let's talk about, say we want to open a new line in our bakery, a whole new line of business. We want to start doing wedding cakes. In order to get 5% of my business to be wedding cakes within the second quarter of the year, what do I need to be doing? What do I need to do? Promote? How do I do that? Do I stop focusing on the other lines of businesses? No. But it's a new line of business. Doesn't it need some TLC? Focus? What happens when the weather gets warm? I'm doing wedding cakes. People love each other. They want to get married. They do. So where do I need to be? Bridal events. Yeah. Bridal websites, marketing materials for bridals, using Instagram, connecting with photographers. Because because who do brides call first? Where do they go first in the planning process? They're worried about the dress and the venues. I need to be calling, because can I grow this business without baking a cake? Yeah. So those are the specific things. If I'm going to grow the cake baking portion of this business, the specific goals is the marketing. And how do I get the marketing plan going? Because see, the marketing plan could be working for you when you're working on something else. Because then by the time the weddings start in April, you got money, you should have some coming in the pipeline, right? Possibly, in a perfect world, right? So let's be very specific about what those things are. So if you are in training and development for yourself, or a speaker, you might want to find ways to make money when you're sleeping, even in any of your businesses. How are you making money while you're doing other things? So that's the action plan. I think we're almost out of time, and we're almost at the end. All right.